A friend of mine has a design agency. Now, he has the most phenomenal background. He worked at Apple, he worked at Adobe, he's won numerous awards. His work is legend. And yet, he lost a deal by being too cheap. His buyer had the heuristic, you get what you pay for, and didn't believe that the work he would get from my friend's agency would be as good as the work from the competing agency, which was 500 more an hour. Being undervalued is one of the worst things that can happen to you in business. It loses deals, leaves money on the table, and destroys relationships. I developed the perception formula after being a practitioner in marketing and sales for over 20 years. Imagine perception as a three-legged stool. Heuristics, hormones, and history are the three legs. If any of them are missing, you have no perception. You do not exist. So what are heuristics, hormones, and history? Heuristics are mental shortcuts. Things like you get what you pay for, fear of missing out, loss aversion, and scarcity. There are more heuristics. Those are just naming a few. Hormones are the neurochemicals that are triggered through actions and experiences like dopamine, oxytocin, neuroepinephrine, cortisol, endorphins, serotonin. All of those can be triggered through meaningful interactions. And then history. History is twofold. It is both the cultural background of the individual or the ideal customer profile and the history that they have with either you or your company or the industry. Put those together and you have the perception formula. If any of the legs are negative, you have a negative perception that you need to overcome. If two of them are negative, you don't get a positive. You have to overcome that much more of a negative perception. I developed the perception formula to help executives, sales, marketing think differently, away from thinking about themselves and think about the customer in order to build relationships and get more. Often, when we're busy making sure we make our numbers and hit our goals, we stop thinking about the relationships and we just think about the tactics. The perception formula pulls us out of our own heads and gets us back to where we need to be so that we can win more.